What's up, YouTube? Once again, you're in the kitchen with Paul. Today, I'm going to be representing my future son-in-law. He's a professional wrestler. He's on his way down to Florida to do a show very soon, and I want to give him a big up. His name is Mason Walls. He's the Gun Show, and I'm representing for him today. This is my future son-in-law, Mason Walls, the Gun Show. I told him about a year ago that in 2 years he was going to be in the WWE. Well, you know what? I'm going to keep speaking that into existence. So Mason Walls, go down to Florida, do your thing. Gun Show, baby, for life. Let's go. Okay? But one more thing. He's a Raven fan, so I got to put a little good karma on him with some Steel of Love. That's for you. All right, baby. We in the kitchen with Paul. Today, what are we doing? We're doing something simple. Chicken. Okay? Chicken breast cutlets. It's not a hard thing to do, but a lot of people overcook the chicken. And how do you stop from overcooking the chicken? It's a simple thing called a meat thermometer. As long as you take this meat thermometer, you dip it into that chicken at the thickest part, and it reads 160 degrees, your meat is done. Take it off the fire, okay? Don't keep cooking it and cooking it and cooking it, because then you're going to dry it out. And there's nothing worse than a dried out piece of breast meat. It's not good, okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to saute it. It's already been, I kind of cheated a little bit. Went to my grocery store and they already had it marinating in the package, okay? This is a brown sugar and barbecue sauce marinade that I'm trying out for the first time. But I said to myself, it's been marinating. It's going to be easier for me. All I got to do is throw it in the pan with some hot oil, let it sear up on both sides, make sure it's at the right temperature, and I'm good to go. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to make some chicken cutlets, sauteed in the pan with a little bit of olive oil. We're not going to put a whole lot of stuff in it because I want to see how this marinade tastes. Okay? So that's what we're going to do. Chicken cutlets in the kitchen with Paul. We'll be right back. Okay, here we go. We got our pan heating up. What we're going to do is we're going to put a little bit of oil in the pan. A little olive oil. Not a whole lot. We just want to coat the bottom of that pan. So when that chicken goes in there, we get a nice sizzle going. Now because it's brown sugar and barbecue sauce, we should get some good caramelization on this chicken. In other words, we should get a nice little brown crust on it. Now I didn't put any breadcrumbs on it. I didn't egg it up. I didn't season it. I didn't do anything to this chicken. All I did was I pulled it out the pack and put it on a plate. We're going to see how their marinade is, okay? Checking them out. So let's see. We got our, there was a small piece of chicken. Let's see if this, oh yeah, okay. That oil's hot and ready. So we're going to take our chicken. Once again, when you lay the chicken down in the pan, lay it down away from you. You do not want that oil to splatter up onto you. Lay it down away from you. Lay it down away from you. If you gotta move to the side, lay it down away from you. I'm gonna put this last little piece of chicken in here too. There you go. We're gonna let this sear on that one side for about 4 minutes on a high heat. And after that, you'll come back and flip it over. Okay, YouTube. A little tip for you. When you're cooking your chicken, and this is something that I used to do, that a lot of people do, and you're not supposed to do it. You move the chicken around too much in the pan. You do the same thing on the barbecue grill. You move it around too much. The chicken sticks, and then what happens is you start ripping fibers away from the chicken. It's not good. Leave the chicken alone, okay? When that chicken is ready to be turned, that meat is going to release from the pan. When you try and pull it and it's sticking, let it go. Don't touch it. It's not ready to be flipped over yet. When it's ready to be flipped over, when you grab it, it's not going to stick at all. And you'll see when you flip it over, there's going to be a perfectly brown crust on that chicken. And you're going to be happy with the way that your chicken turns out. Okay? That's your tip for the day. Once again, representing from my future son-in-law, Mason Walls The Gun Show. You can find him on Facebook at Mason Walls. You can find him on Instagram at TSG Mason Walls. That's The Gun Show, Mason Walls. You can also find him on Twitter at Mason Walls 90, I believe it is. It's my son-in-law, Mason Walls, The Gun Show. Represent. Go and check him out. Thank you. Okay. Chicken is just about ready to be flipped over. You grab it. You see how that meat pulled away from there? Look at that nice sear you got on that side. That meat does not stick to the pan when it is ready to be flipped over. Something I had to learn. Look at that there. Now what you want to do, bring your fire down a little bit. Allow that meat to cook all the way through. But you see the nice caramelization that they have on that meat. It has a nice brown to it. That's from the sugars. The brown sugar and the barbecue sauce that was already marinated onto this meat. Looks pretty good. I think we're going to do pretty well with this. Okay, that chicken has been cooking on low heat for about 7 or 8 minutes. We're going to keep flipping it over here. Look at that nice brown crust you got on there. That's beautiful. And what we want to do, we want to take our meat thermometer and check on this chicken. So you stick it through the biggest part of the chicken. You see that? 164, 166. This is done. 167. That chicken is done. But you don't want it overdone. So we're going to turn the fire off. We're going to take this chicken off this fire. Get it on a plate there. Look at that. Oh man. That looks fantastic. Oh yeah. Now, most important part of this, when you've done that, you gotta let the chicken set. You have to let it rest. Okay? Rule of thumb is for every pound of meat, you want to let the chicken rest for about 8 minutes. That allows the juices to settle back into the chicken. As you're cooking this meat, what happens is the meat balls up like a fist. Okay? And what you want that meat to do is just to start to relax. As it comes out of that fire, it starts to relax. Okay? And lets those fibers relax, and that allows the juices to flow back through the meat. And that meat is going to be nice and juicy and succulent and some of the best chicken you've ever tasted. We're going to cut into it after it's had a chance to rest for a little while. You know, while that chicken is resting, I'm looking at this pan and I'm saying to myself, there's a lot of nice brown bits in that pan that could make a nice sauce. So what we're going to do is we are going to make a nice little sauce with some butter, Nice simple sauce. I have a touch of sesame oil along with some apple cider vinegar. A lot of people use wine, but I don't want to use any wine right now. And we're making a simple sauce. So I don't want to take too much away from the flavor of that meat and how it was marinated. So we're going to put a little water in there. Okay? And that's going to start deglazing this pan. Getting all those brown bits of love off the bottom of this pan. And forming a nice little sauce. Now you might want to try and thicken this sauce up also. And how would you thicken it up? There's one of two ways that I use to thicken up my sauce. You make a slurry out of either cornstarch and water or flour and water. Okay? And what that does is it thickens up the sauce. That's starting to look pretty good there. But as I'm looking at it, I think I want a little fresh thyme in there. I don't have fresh thyme. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put the thyme that I got into that sauce. While I'm doing that, might as well put a little parsley in there. Because we're making a nice sauce, right? And that deglazes the bottom of that pan. It makes me happy because it makes a nice sauce, but also makes for easy cleanup. Because all them brown bits on the bottom of that pan, they're not there anymore. That's all went into that sauce. So that's going to reduce by about half. But we got to get our slurry in there. So 1 second, let me get the slurry mixed up. So I've turned down the heat in our sauce. And what I've done is I've taken a teaspoon of flour and put it in with some cold water. And I'm going to keep mixing this around. Now you definitely want to use cold water because if you use hot water, it's going to start to lump up. But you just mix it with the cold water. And that's our slurry. See that? And you take this and you pour it in. And that right there will thicken up our sauce. So you allow the sauce to thicken up for a couple of seconds. See, right away it thickens up that sauce. Look at that. Right away. That looks nice. Now where'd all them brown bits on the bottom of the pan go? Oh, they're still there. But they're in that sauce now. They're in that sauce. Oh boy. That looks good. And of course you want to taste your sauce. You always taste your food as you're cooking to make sure it tastes good. That sauce is missing something. I think it needs a little salt. So we're going to grab our sea salt. Put some sea salt in there. Flavor that up a little bit. That's why you always want to check it. You always want to taste before you finish your product. Taste. And you put in a little bit of salt at a time, a little bit of flavoring at a time. And that way, you always add more, but you can never take it back out. So let's taste it one more time. Now that's right. Now that is right. Okay. So we got our sauce. We got a nice little brown sauce to put over our chicken. Our chicken has rested. So let's plate up something and see what we got here. Okay, so let's grab a piece of our chicken. This is a nice piece right here. And what you want to do is you want to cut it on an angle. All right. Should have got a nice sharp knife. You cut it on an angle. But as you can see, that meat is nice and white. And oh, look at that juice just staying right inside of that meat. That is nice. This is going to be fantastic. It's got a nice little crust on there. And chop up one more piece here. Okay. Now what you want to do is you take a little bit of your sauce. And you drizzle your sauce on there. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Oh, yeah. Now let's go in for a taste test. First of all, I want to show you how juicy this meat is. If you look at here, when I press with the fork, do you see the juices coming out of that meat? That breast meat is cooked to perfection. So we're going to try a piece. Hopefully I'm on the camera. Here's a piece. Oh, that is incredible. They did a pretty good job with this marinade. Once again, it was the brown sugar and barbecue sauce marinade, but the chicken is cooked to perfection. Juicy, moist, tender. The nice little sauce on top. Excelente.